talking about Derek Carr. I don't know why we still talking about him. I mean, he's moved on. He's with the New Orleans Saints, but they like you said, they find anything to write about.
Yeah.
And I said this over the last couple of years, and I said this for Derek Carr. People want to blame Derek Carr for everything that went on with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the reason why we were losing. But I mean, he has a point, but then again, he got to take some blame too. I'm one of those guys. I was an advocate for Carr, but when I criticized him when he played like shit, I criticized. I wasn't no Derek Carr fan that made an excuse for him at all. And shout out to 24 Graphics as well. Shout out to you. You gave me a decent Bo Jackson throwback jersey that's going to be posted on TeePublic tonight. So make sure y'all go check out that Bo knows version of Nothing But Raiders podcast merch there as well. But this is what was stated. According to Levi Damien, which is a reliable source. I do follow him on Twitter, but he was on Raiders Wire. But this is a long behind article, which I'm not going to read, but I am going to say some quotable things that he did say in here. And he said that this is a quote unquote, this is the first quote that he says. He said, if you win more games and you keep being productive, you stay there forever, according to the Fresno Bee, as what he says. But we didn't win enough games, and that's the kind of stuff that happens with all the turnover of coaches, with all different things. Eventually, the last guy in the room is usually going to be out at some point. And that really what happened. I've survived about 20 coaches, and that's how it goes, and it is what it is. So he goes on to say, let me see if there's another quote here from him. But how do y'all feel about when he said that? And this is what he stated as well. He said, I was very upset. I was mad. Carr said of the benching of the final 2 games of the last season. You spend 9 years in the place and you have the records and you can play at a high level. And for something to get in the way, whether it was whatever reasons, money related or whatever injury related, I would have said, I don't even want the money. Just to play 2 more times in front of our fans. I didn't get that opportunity, so definitely it lit a fire under me to keep going. Then he goes off to say that once they made my wife cry, that was pretty much over, he said. Once they made her cry, that was out. But the love for my teammates was probably I have what made me do it. But the way he said, but the way it worked out in time of things, I just was like, it was time for me to move on. But who knows? You never know what would have happened. So they are the 3 quotables that he said in this article. What are your thoughts, Leah? I'm gonna start with you first.
You know what?
You first, man. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Like it all comes with perception, right? How far you've been following the story. If you follow the story, you only read this article, it's only blame on the Raiders and what happened.
Yes.
A few months ago, there was another article where he took the blame. I didn't give my all. There was so much going on. You have to follow it all along to get the whole thing. But to only catch like that part, and of course you're going to be like, well, fuck him, do that. Look, I'm a fan of him. I told you that right now. I was a fan of him when he was our quarterback. He's no longer here. I'm with Jimmy, whatever. I was in my fields this morning. I made that little Derek Carr video as a joke, but I miss him. But look, at the end of the day, look at the facts, though. He was here 9 years. Our team as an organization has been failing for more than 9 years.
That's true. Good point.
Over 20 plus, bro. I'm 45 years old. I'm the one probably who remembers when we won a Super Bowl because I saw it. Everybody else doesn't, right? And you can't blame that all on just him. You know? That's not just him. That's the whole organization as a whole. You know, did he have his faults? Absolutely. There are games where I was like, bro, what the hell are you doing? That Charger game, you know, where he threw those 3 picks. Like, bro, what are you doing? The Pittsburgh game, right? And I saw the downfall at this year after the Pittsburgh game. I was like, that's it. He's done. I was pissed he didn't get to play the last 2 games. I would have loved to see him play the last 2 games, but then we were told because they want to see what they have. They put in Stiddy. We didn't even keep Stiddy. You know, we all thought, okay, cool. They're doing that. I think my whole frustration with the Carr thing was them actually not having a plan. of what they were going to do next. And that was an organizational thing. Because even though he was here 9 years, we never had a who was going to be next thing. Because they always relied on him. And that's an organizational thing. That's not a Derek Carr thing. He did what he could with what he had. He had good games. He had good years. 2016. We talked about the other day. If you could bring back one Raider, who would it be? I said fucking 2016 Carr. Because that's how good he played that year, you know? But I think you just have to follow the whole story to get it all. Instead of just taking caps from here, like, oh, he made my wife cry. Or like, oh, it's their fault. When a month ago, he admitted it was all my bad, you know?
Daddy.
I didn't give it all.
I feel like, and I'm gonna let Chris go next, but I think he's taking both sides. I think he's blaming himself for how he did things, but he's definitely not going to put all the blame on himself.
Right.
He's going to take his accountability and his responsibility, how he played when he was here and how things were when he was here. But he's definitely going to let it be known, like, it wasn't just me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole intake on it. But Chris, I would like to hear your thoughts on this, though.
So, Carr, I rooted for him all 9 years. I had his jersey. You know, it's well documented videos of me cheering the man on, even last year. However, I'm always Raiders first. You know, that's why I made this, you know, my platform, Protect the Shield. You know, I have to put the Raiders first. I just think it was time to move on from him. Do I hate Carr? No. Will I make fun of him sometimes? Yes. Is he the worst quarterback in the world? No. But at the end of the day, he can't get us to where we need to go unless he has everything around him, like similar to what Matt Stafford had when he went to the Rams. Right. Now, if we had all that, Carr will be the perfect guy because he can come in, plug and play. That's why he might be successful in the Saints because they have a lot of talent around him. But I don't think he will, though. But going back to everything that he said, I'm calling cap on all that stuff because he could have took. I mean, he made comments about, you know, making sure he's going to get his money, you know, not taking a real hometown discount. So that's all cap talking about. I don't care about the money. That's not it. But what pisses me off out of all that is, why does it take for them to bench you for that fire to be lit? How come that fire wasn't lit earlier in the season? How come that fire wasn't lit, you know, years ago? That's what gets me about him, man. It's just like, you know, now he has this motivation out of nowhere. And again, yeah, he was pissed off. His wife was crying, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't care, man. You got to play the game. And then if you are benched, be honorable with it. Hold that clipboard and help Stiddy out. Put on the headset, help Stiddy, tell him what you're seeing on the sideline, just like Stiddy does for you. Just like who was the other quarterback? Whoever our third string quarterback
Chase
was.
Garbers.
Yeah, just like them guys help you prepare every week to get ready. You need to do that for them, man. You know, getting on your little getting pissed off and going home and taking your ball with you, that's unacceptable, man. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. You know, people try to act like the Raiders sent them home. They didn't because they're not allowed to.
Right.
You know, but that's me, man.
So AK, what's your thoughts on this whole article that came out about what Carr's saying? I mean, you heard from all three of us. So you know, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I saw little excerpts from the article just before when I was trolling on IG. Look, I'm sure he has his perspective about how things went down. At the end of the day, look, I've always supported him, much like you guys. I mean, now that his career is over with the Raiders, I would rather look back and I appreciate the good things that he did rather than look at how it ended. With that said, was it time to move on? In my opinion, yeah, it was. I mean, we needed. I said it all along. Even I supported Carr all the way. I always believed in him. We needed him to be great last year, and he just wasn't. It's been 9 years.
He wasn't.
I didn't like how it ended, but it was the right time. We've moved on, and now that he's not here anymore, good luck to him. All the best, but I don't care. He's not a Raider anymore. Exactly. We've moved on. You know what I mean? I only care about, okay, what's the answer now? Is Jimmy G the answer? Do we have the answer on our roster as it stands, or are we gonna have to go back to the drawing board and possibly look at further options. I don't know. Time will tell. And you brought up a good point, Leo, is that like we never really had a backup plan. No. I mean, I would have ideally liked us to, in the last since 2016, we've only drafted, well, even going back as since he's been in the door since 2014, we've only drafted one guy while he was on our roster, and that was Connor Cook. You know what I mean? We didn't have a young guy who was an incumbent or someone who at the very least could be a decent backup at best. Like if it didn't work out with Derek Carr, someone we've groomed that can possibly be the guy moving forward. We didn't do that. I mean, we brought in Marcus Mariota and we brought all these other young guys in, but we never drafted anybody outside of Connor Cook, and we missed pretty badly with him. So, as far as what he's saying, what his perspective is, whatever, to be honest, don't really care. It's about, okay, what's the plan now? What are we going to do? We've got Jimmy G. Yeah. Is he the guy moving forward? Only time will tell.
But the thing with Carr, though, the thing is, he's not a bad guy. But at least for me personally, I tend to fire back at some of the stuff just because his fans, and I'll say his fans, not Raider fans, but his fans get so annoying with it because they literally put him on a pedestal over the Raiders themselves.
Oh no, never, bro. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what gets on my nerves because they think anyone who doesn't agree with them about Carr, that we're Carr haters. I'm not a Carr hater. At the end of the day, I'm a Raider fan, so I care about that more than anything else. At the end of the day, that's where we're at, man. It's just like I'm very critical of them. Anthony, he said it. I don't like calling them that, but those fans are, I mean, they really cause a divide, man, because a lot of people who they say are Carr haters, we're not Carr haters, we're just Raider lovers.
Yeah. Well, whatever side of the coin you're on, like, why do we care now? He's not here anymore.
Exactly.
Let's I don't even like it, unless I need to talk about, like, I'm on your podcast now with, it's a relevant topic because you brought up the article, but you know what I mean? Like, I've always supported Derek Carr, but at the same time, I don't care. He's not here anymore. I only care about who have we got? What's the plan now moving forward? And how's it going to shape with, with whoever we roll with? Whatever Carr does from here on out.
I get it with y'all saying, and I understand he's not a Raider anymore, but I think this is just a repeated situation for me, because if you notice, a lot of Raider players, former Raider players that's no longer here, finally able to speak up about how they felt about the organization after they left, because I think the organization was not allowing them to speak how they wanted to speak. And I think this is just another situation for Derek Carr. Like, if you look at all the former players that came through here that played with John Green or played with Josh McDaniels the year before, you see Darian Waller finally speaking up about how he felt about being with the Raiders after being traded to the New York Giants, because he could not speak the way he wanted to speak in this Raiders organization. So I feel like it's just not a Derek Carr thing. I think it's a former Raider thing that they want us to keep our mouth shut and say what they want them to say instead of them speaking the truth. And I feel like now is about that time for them to speak their truth so they could move on as players as well.
But that I get, though, because a lot of the time I want a type of team that keeps everything in-house, not fucking shit all out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you hear about it afterwards, like, I'm cool with that. Like, even with when Chris did his interview with Hugh, like, I was so interested in seeing it because I knew now he could talk about that
real stuff,
because he wasn't part of the organization of everything going on anymore. That's why with this next one that you're doing, I want to hear that again, because now you have that opportunity to.